Would record to this computer. Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Yay, thanks for being here. These are three of my favorite people on earth, not just in comic books. And yeah, we're gonna do a little round table catch up to end out the year and also yeah, like some I just feel like you three are like good energy for this because we've been like accountability partners in the past, we've been collaborators, and I think um yeah, just for the purposes of my newsletter and maybe your newsletters, there's like a lot of people that are like reading it who are also aspiring creators. And I think like the arc of all our careers and where they intersect is really interesting and might be useful for other people. And if not, it'll be useful for us to review because we like each other. Um, But yeah, for people that don't know, I'm Greg Lockard. I am a writer and an editor of comic books and other stuff. And I'm also a full-time employee of Tiny Onion Inc., which is a production company that focuses on comic books and graphic novels. And my role there is talent manager, but it's also a dual role as like an internal editor. And yeah, prior to that, I was freelance editing for 10 years and I wrote two graphic novels. One was co-created with Tim Fish here and illustrated by him. And that one's called Liebestrasse. And the other one is called Trick Pony, co-created and illustrated by Anna David. Um, and yeah, I did some bits and bobs as a freelance editor coming out of the beginning of my career at DC Comics and working at Vertigo and in talent relations there. Um, and that's me. And bio.
That's a commercial.
Commercial. Cut to something. Cut to
as
the
you
bar.
as you give yourself the hook during editing.
Yeah. I'm like nervously looking off camera as I do it.
You want to go again?
No, it won't get better. I've only done that 82 million times, and that is as smooth as it gets. Who wants to do their intro next? Or should I have said someone's name because you're not? Okay, I say Tim.
Right.
That's
That's
ready to go.
fine by me. Well, I guess the mystery will be who I call on next because based on
Ah,
my screen.
That's a
Or
good
all
game.
no, you know what? That's not nice. That's like taking over your podcast. Um, I'll let you decide whether I call someone next or you call someone next. Um,
No, you can pass the baton. I like that. No
okay.
kings.
All right, cool.
This is a cheerocracy.
no
Um,
kings.
uh, my pen name is Tim Fish, and I've had I guess the interesting thing for me is as my various careers have merged, more interesting things have happened as I've broken down the barrier between my real name, Timothy Poisson, and my pen name, Tim Fish. Um, so I have been creating comics. I started drawing when I was 4, learned to read from comics. Uh, my mind kind of thinks in comic terms. Even when I'm writing other things, I'm always thinking in comic terms, which is tough to break. But I write and draw comics and graphic novels. Started sort of self-publishing in a big way around 2001, 2000-ish, trying to figure out what people wanted. Ended up picking up a lot of, or for me, a lot of professional work. For other people, not so much. But I would say in the professional space, I've done some shorties for Marvel and Image, and as Greg mentioned, Liebestrasse, and then a number of self-published graphic novels, and one of the principal artists on a officially licensed comic by NBC based on Saved by the Bell, the TV show. And otherwise, I continue to write and draw comics today. I do have a day job still. I've never, or mostly have not given that up, and have sort of kept all those plates spinning. Uh, I'm currently a PhD candidate in creative writing, where my graphic novel, which is intended to be about 80% of the work of the PhD, will be the first time a graphic novel has gone through any such creative writing program at the university. So it's a bit of trailblazing and doing a bit for comics as a medium. So that's kind of what I'm working on now, or not working on now as I'm on this podcast. I also took the opportunity to try to get involved with some fringe festivals and have had a few plays recorded, which is fun and nice to expand or broaden my horizons.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that's a good intro.
Mhm.
So I will pass the baton on to Monica, whose square is right below mine on my screen.
Okay.
Aw. Wait,
Oh, you're vertical?
Yes, it's so you can keep your eyes focused on the camera.
Oh, pro tip.
Oh,
yeah,
pro
Uh,
tip.
I don't think I do that at all.
So as having a day job, one of the things
Just
they
for
make us
myself.
do, like last week, we had a public speaking. Uh,
Oh my God, I love it.
all
I
right,
will. I will. I will
The
cut.
meeting before the slurs started.
Oh my God, so
all right.
funny.
So anyway, Monica.
Oh, okay. Um, I'm Monica Gallagher, and I write and draw comics. I've been doing that for over 25 years now. I started with a webcomic when I was in college, and then started going to shows in the early 2000s where I would just print out my webcomic, show people to buy,
Yeah.
and tell them to go find it online. And then after that, I started branching out into self-publishing a lot of like mini comics, as well as my ongoing webcomic saga. And then I did uh, a bunch of little projects for publishers. I got like some short stories, stuff like that. And I had a day job. I worked full time and kind of gradually decreased my hours over 15 years. And then in 2017, I got a full-time gig as a webcomics artist for Webtoon. And that was kind of like my big moment to shine. And it lasted the 3 years before it got canceled.
Which is
Um,
amazing.
which is amazing. Yeah, and
hmm
it's still my favorite thing that I've ever done. And since then, I've been just scrambling around getting comics projects, both of my own and then other people's, and uh, freelance jobs on the side and everything. So, um, yeah, so I guess I've worked in a variety of different formats for comics so far. And one of the projects that's upcoming that I'm slowly working on with a friend of mine who's a chainsaw artist is going to be a comic that's made out of wood. So, if we ever get our acts together and get that done. I think that'll be an interesting medium because I haven't seen that for comics either. So that'll be a cool new thing to see if we ever get it done.
I
Yeah.
liked your pun, getting your acts together.
Yeah. Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
okay? I was like, I don't
You
know.
gonna bleep out all the
Fuck
obscenities I
yeah.
said?
Yeah. No, I won't. This won't be like a monetized YouTube situation, I don't think ever.
Does it have to be censored if it is?
I
I
think so.
I think so, right? For you, like YouTube. Yeah.
Like
But
what has to be censored? Like our language, nothing naughty.
curse, I think
Yeah.
curse words and yeah, I think like if it's monetized and someone complains about like adult content or whatever, they take it down.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Anyway, take it away, Mike.
Oh,
Yeah.
um, hi, my name is Michael DiMotta. I am a bit of a fraud here because I think I'm more of an illustrator than a comic book artist. I've done both. I've done a lot of comic work. Um,
Yeah.
but I've been a freelance illustrator since graduating from Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore in 2003. Um, I was an intern at DC Comics. My grandma actually also worked at DC Comics when she was working. She was a colorist there back when they were doing the dot coloring. Um, and then I was a freelance illustrator for like Instinct magazine out of school, and I did a couple shorts with DC Comics. Like I colored the ink, was it ink? The ink storyline, which was
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
I did the DC holiday special once, and I colored a few pages for a different story in that one. I've worked for Boom Comics to do a Fraggle color and draw a Fraggle Rock short story in an anthology they were putting together. Um, and then I've done various cover work, which I really kind of prefer. I've worked with Tim and Monica and Greggy, or Greg,
Yeah. You can call me
Gregory
Greggy.
Lockard.
We'll bleep that.
Yep.
There's a cover.
Um, but yeah, and then I've worked at Rockstar Video Games and do a lot of like architectural renderings, marketing renderings, all types of stuff. I did a kids book a long time ago. Um, yeah, and I'm still drawing
Yeah.
despite AI
Yeah, right.
making everything worse. But yeah, I'm still working, and here we are all together. I didn't want to. I don't know if I should talk about how we all met yet, so I didn't.
No, well, yeah, I think that's a good segue, like AI and like Monica talking about like early web comics because like we all met
Yeah.
doing a web comic that is collected here. And so, yeah, maybe that's like Monica, where were you first hosting your web comics? And like Tim, like how did you get started? I guess that's my first question is like to you too. Like Monica, how did your web comics start? And Tim, or for both of you, same question.
I always had mine on my own.
I think you both know what I asked, right? Okay.
Um, yeah, I always had mine on my own website
Mm.
from the start. So I never did any of those kind of webcomics platforms, even though they were massive ones that were really popular. And kind of, yeah, it was always on my own site. And then I think I tried to have ads from Project Wonderful. Do you guys remember Project Wonderful? It was like the webcomic ad. All
Ah,
the webcomics people had it. That was like the only way to make money from webcomics in the
Oh
beginning.
yeah.
But yeah, so mine was just on my own site. What about you, Tim? Because you didn't host Young Bottoms in Love, right? Where was that?
No, no. I mean that all started when I just was pulling together mini comics and seeing what were people interested in. And shockingly, the first show I ever exhibited at was San Diego Comic-Con, which seems in today's context that seems kind of weird. But I used to live in San Diego, and I used to go to the show when I could just like drive down on a Saturday on a whim, park, no problem, and then go walk into the convention.
wow.
That doesn't exist anymore. But
No.
I could tell through the various mini comics I had there what people were interested in, and so I fixated on two directions. One, to continue Cavalcade as a print piece, but also to start up the anthology series, Young Bottoms in Love, and essentially that was sort of all swirling together with Ed Matthews, who hosted it on Pop Image, and so yeah, so I mean that was really remarkable to get people involved with that, and Pop Image was not a comic site, it but essentially this series helped him get other series posted to there, and I think they end up carrying a good half dozen at any time for I don't know I know I know Young Bonds in Love ran for 4 years, I think. Um, so quite a while, and I don't know how everything else went, but that's where that was hosted, and I think did well in terms of mm, some teeth cutting moments. And I also had something to run on Modern Tales, which was looking
Mm.
for they were looking to publish graphic novels or longer stories uh, complete. I think that's long gone. So, but that was around the same time, 2002, 2003. So, yeah, that's how that all started. And I think my second ever show was SPX, which was the month and a half later, which is where I met Monica.
Yeah. Was that was 2002, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Was
Oh,
that was SPX in Baltimore, or was that the one in what was the one in New York?
Is in
Mocha.
Bethesda.
Mocha.
Mocha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, SPX is in Bethesda.
So
Okay.
yeah, because
And
then I would have met you or you and Monica then at Mocha, right? That
I
summer?
thought we met at Ape, but maybe I'm wrong.
In San
Oh,
Francisco?
Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
I think we
maybe.
I
Yeah.
think we did. I don't think we had a table,
Oh,
like we didn't have a table at that. And I remember
mm,
walking around with like a tiny, oh, I used to print everything really small at my in illustration class, my
yeah.
senior year, they were like, you need to learn how to print stuff and mail it out, So you would print these little packets and mail them to people you wanted them to look at. And I remember printing a bunch of stuff for Ape, and that's when I met Tim and I think Monica the first. I just remember sitting along the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a table. I think Tim had a
I think
table.
Tim and I shared a table for that one. I think. Yeah.
no, yeah, it's so tough to like piece together. Like, fortunately,
Yeah.
fortunately, I used to post a lot of photos to Facebook, which I never took down for some reason, and that's the only way I've been able to piece together some history here. Like,
Mm,
I think Mike,
yeah.
the first picture I have with you is with Brett at Amoka, and I think that might have been
Yeah.
2004. Um, but I have to look back at Facebook. I did grab some old sketchbooks to randomly to see where things were, and both random sketchbooks I had have sketches from you. So, um,
Oh,
but yeah, I don't remember specifically when I met Mike and Greg because it was Jose who introduced me
Uh,
to Mike, and
Yeah.
Mike
maybe.
looped in Greg because
oh,
Jose Villarubia was like, oh, I've got some students who should be participating or might be interested in participating in your webcomic. So I was
Yeah.
introduced to
oh,
Mike. Mike was interning with Greg, and that's how I met Greg. I met
yeah.
Greg through Mike.
hmm Yeah, Greg and I both interned at DC Comics that summer. Although Greg was the
Yeah.
more fun one upstairs at Vertigo, and I was kind of trapped in the main DC floor with two others, so there was like never enough to do, and we're all squabbling to try to get to do as much as possible.
And asked to leave at 5.
Yeah. And then
Get out,
And
get out of here.
and at that point we weren't paid interns. So like I was
no,
working
we were
full
paid in
time that
comics.
summer. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were paid in like the junk drawer of free comics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really yeah, now I remember now that you're saying out loud because I had been reading Young Bottoms in Love on Pop Image.
Yeah.
And then like we got the introduction through Jose. Oh, that makes sense.
I forgot
So
it was I thought it was Ed Matthews. I forgot it was Jose. I thought Jose introduced me to Ed, but or both of you, I guess, at the same time, because I had graduated in
Yeah,
2003.
could be because it was you and Melody, Melody,
Yeah.
was it
Yeah,
Melody?
Melody.
Melody's still out there.
Um, and there was a third of your classmates too, which only, again, my memory is so fuzzy here. You probably
Yeah.
did meet me and Ed at the same time. That's probably real. Um, but only because Jose introduced me to a bunch of his students would I have
Yeah.
sort of drawn that connection. Um,
that's wild.
oh, Jose.
So
Oh,
Young Bottoms in Love ran weekly, right? It was like 5 pages
Yeah, I think, did it
a
run
week.
daily, 5 pages per
it was
week?
daily. It was one
Yeah.
page a day.
Oh,
That makes
that's
sense.
good
Um,
memory. Yeah,
so
yeah,
Because I remember,
a weekly
yeah.
story posted a page a day.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mike. I did not
Yeah,
remember.
because our story was 10 pages, right? We did like 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I remember Ed did the lettering, I think, and yeah, there she is, Beauty and the Beast. I
Beauty and the Beast. Number
think I have
zero,
one copy of that.
2004.
Yeah, because we had graduated, so we interned in 2002, though, right? That was the
Yes,
summer
summer
of
2002.
2002,
Oh, this is more
and
than
then
10 pages.
you couldn't get rid of me, and I stuck around, and then we drew, and then once we talked to Tim and Ed, we came up with the idea to do Beauty and the Beast together.
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Aw.
which was a gay version of the classic fairy tale where the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy gives the makeover at the end, which is a little dated, but then it came back, so it's not
And it came
totally dated.
back.
Yeah.
I stand by us of
Yeah, oh, I love
this.
it.
It's
The
so
funny,
good.
my husband, who I didn't know at the time, had read that comic from the
That's
pop image and bought the Young Bottoms in Love book.
Amazing.
And
cool.
he didn't, yeah, he had looked me up, but we hadn't met. And then eventually, years later, I met him on OkCupid,
That's so
and he
funny.
was and he pretended like he didn't know who I was already, but he did.
Are, are you the Michael J. DiMotta?
Are you the gay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so surprise, surprise.
And
Comics
Monica, you
can
wait,
make a difference.
I can.
what was your story in Young Bottoms and Love, Monica? I don't want to.
Don't even look for it. It's so embarrassing now. It's so
Um,
bad. It was like
How
a,
dare
of course it was
you?
a Greek
It-
god one.
Greek
yeah,
God, yes.
don't you throw them under the bus.
Yeah. Wait, but who was it again? That's why I'm blanking. I'm like,
It was Hyacinthus,
I,
and I forget who he fell in love with. I don't remember.
oh, yeah. That's
But it was
okay.
only like, was it really like 5 or 10 page increments? Because I feel like mine was only like 3 pages. It was like super short, maybe. I don't
I
know.
think it I think it was five. Like we were told either five or ten, I think, for Beauty and the
Hmm.
Beast. Because it was a weekly comic, so I think they wanted to keep them one comic per week.
who,
But
who's
don't
they?
quote me.
It was me.
Oh,
They,
yeah, it was you. Well, and
the
Ed.
man,
I feel like
Overlord.
the
the
yeah, the
That,
patriarchy.
over
that
the
demanding son of
man.
a bitch.
Yeah, my God, whip us.
What did
No.
they want?
What did they want?
I
Uh,
get, Tim, did you ever get any pushback on like the book or the title? Because that was pretty like, I mean, it was like 2000, what, two, three, four? Like
yeah.
being out and proud at that point wasn't,
The only
'cause
pushback I got was people were confused because it wasn't really about bottoms. It was people were more confused. Like, what's this an anthology about? It's like,
oh,
well, it's just kind of like spoofing old romance
yeah.
comics, like you know, Tales from New Brides or Nurses in Love or whatever. Like, I mean, some of the titles were absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like
yeah.
was the inspiration point, because really, like that's all it meant to be. But I think I got more confusion on that, and I know some people, some readers said something to the effect like, "Oh, I don't want to read, a sexy sex comic or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, it's
Mm,
actually not at all. It's an anthology, you know, romance
yeah,
stories,
We
yeah,
took the sex out of it.
yeah,
yeah. There's
nothing
no
sexy sex in
nudity.
there." Yeah. So, but I think they just thought it was like about bottoming or something, but which it wasn't.
Not in the
Plot
traditional
twist.
sense.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, no, no pushback, more confusion, and I guess go figure. Yeah, I don't think I ever have to. I don't remember explaining bottoming to people, but I did explain that it was really meant to be like a classic 50s, 60s romance comic series. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's baked. Yeah, it
um,
just feels obvious, but
All right, let's reboot it. Let's do it.
yeah. Well, that
oh,
yeah, no,
let's
but rebooting, that's a good segue. It's like because Monica, you're doing web comics still, and like the formatting has changed, but it's still the same thing in some ways, right? Like how is it different now? Is it different?
I mean, I have my limited experience, but I do remember webcomics like back in the day when I started, it was like it was so new that anyone who was a webcomic artist that was even remotely consistent became huge. Like Danielle and like there were only like a few sites and people just checked their webcomic sites every day and read the same ones. Like uh yeah, like oh, who are the guy PvP? and all those like gamer
Mhm.
comics and all that stuff was like huge. And then it kind of like it seemed like it just kind of disappeared. I think because there were so many people and then everyone was on a different site. And so it was like hard to keep track of everybody. And then some people joined together, like Hiveworks had like a bunch of webcomics people on there. And so they all became these kind of like little conglomerates. Um, some of them I don't even think exist anymore. I'm trying to remember. Was it Tasty? Not, was it Crunchyroll? Who was the one that
Crunchy rolls. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one still
Oh
exists,
yeah.
right?
so yeah, there was there were a
Oh,
bunch
I
that
thought Crunchyroll is the
I
animated.
that is
Oh,
getting
yeah.
confused with something
Yeah,
else. But
that's
yeah,
the anime channel.
they they but yeah, they formed these like groups, and then it seemed like webcomics were dead. And then Webtoon came along, and that had been a very successful like webcomic platform in Korea for 10 years before they brought it here. And that's when it kind of blew up that people were reading webcomics again because they could read on their phones. So the
Hmm.
format changed, the style changed, and now you had like all these readers you never had reading comics, which was really exciting because everyone loves being glued to their phones, apparently. So that's all they want.
Was
So
it
now
like a
I don't even know,
difficult?
like,
Oh, sorry.
oh, go
Oh,
ahead. Yeah. So, I
no, no,
mean,
no.
like Webtoon has kind of, it's still there, but I run into people at conventions all the time who tell me that like they don't read it anymore. Like
Mhm.
they stopped years ago, and I'm not exactly, I think it was when they got rid of most of their paid creators. Uh, but yeah, now I don't even know what like if anyone reads webcomics anymore or like I'm still doing them. I don't know if people still read them or where they read them.
And you run yours now through Patreon exclusively, or and on your website?
It's still it's like Patreon is new stuff and then my site is like backlog stuff. Like it updates but like it's slower. Yeah.
Question.
And do you reform it? Like, do you still use the Webtoons format or no? Are
I
you back?
do.
Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I do both now. Like I when I make a page, I make it like a printed out page and then cut it up for the mobile because people that's how people like to read it. I've learned it drives me nuts. I don't
Yeah.
I mean
No, that's the
Yeah.
future, it feels like. Like I have clients that are doing that too.
well, I remember Scott McCloud was like the infinite canvas, right? It was supposed to be like you could go anywhere, like up, down, left, right, all over the place.
Yeah. That was kind of my question for you, Monica. Like, are you creating for print first, converted to digital? Because I know you've also run into problems when you've had to like recompile back into print.
Yeah.
Sounded like a nightmare. So what? How
Yeah.
are you like? Are you thinking through? I want this to be in both formats, so therefore I'm creating it this way and doing it this way.
Yeah, I'm definitely it took me a while to well, because Webtoon stuff too, like they weren't doing any print versions. It's only now that I'm actually doing print versions that's a real pain in the ass to go back and actually format it correctly and everything. But no, when I do stuff now,
Yeah, it takes so long.
yeah, it's so, oh my God.
It's not fun.
And I thought I was so smart, like when because I used to draw them by hand, and I thought I was drawing it on one page and cutting it up, and then
Hmm.
trying to put it back in the page was like, what do you know? It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I know. It's a different job. We are artists. That's a graphic designer job.
Yeah,
So you're taking on all these hats
yeah,
just in general.
not well, not doing a good job.
No, I know. We're faking it till we make it. But a lot of that stuff. I mean, I have my brother is a graphic designer, so I was able to poke his brain a lot about when we were printing all of our own stuff. But now I wouldn't even know where to start because a lot of the printing companies too, you have to find. And we used a Canadian one back in the day. Was it South Island Print Service, I think, something like that?
Oh,
Uh,
SIPs.
yeah, SIPs, right? Is it on there? There's SIPs. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
still going.
I don't know either. British Columbia, missing work.
This
Yeah.
thing.
This is
Uh,
non-webcomic comic.
Yeah, it was never on a site, was it?
Um, it was on Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
rest
mean,
in
it was
peace.
yeah, I think, is it on my website? She's on there, but I don't know if the whole story's on there. I'm checking.
Yeah, Tumblr's still around apparently.
Yeah. I had
Brilliant.
one piece go viral on there, and I had all these followers, and then they ruined everything by taking the porn away.
Yeah,
And then
why would
no
you
one
ever take
used it
porn away
anymore.
when you kill it?
I know, I know. Yeah, and then they people stopped using it, so which was a bummer because I had like
I love Tumblr. Yeah.
Yeah,
99,000
me
followers.
too.
And then they like went away, and I'm like, no.
But that was you got a huge amount from like the Game of Thrones stuff, right? Like the Game of Thrones drawings. I remember that.
The first one was this adoption, like I forget what it was. It was like some contest with gay issues, and I drew like a gay adoption piece that went viral. That and it like didn't win the contest, and I just threw it up on Tumblr one day because I was just throwing stuff up as I was making the site. And then I looked back later and it had like 22,000 and now it's at like 100. I don't know. It like blew up. And then you read, don't read the comments, but anything that gets people talking really. Now sometimes I put in, it's almost like rage bait in my work just to get people talking because then you have to like work with the algorithm. So if you like leave something out, sometimes people are like, "Well, where's that?" I learned that during the drag race drawings. People would
Oh.
just comment like,
Mm.
"Where's Katya?" and it like wasn't her season. And it's like, why would she be there? But where is she? Where is Katya? And it works.
That's
Just
amazing.
just a pro tip.
Where do you like Mike for you for illustration and Tim and well for all of you for your art, like where in like the absence of Tumblr and then like the weirdness of the algorithm, like
Uh,
fight how do you guys fight against it? Or is it just like
I
there's
feel
no
like
fight?
people are so into the moving image right now and
Yeah.
videos and little clips. So
Mhm.
I've been trying to learn After Effects and animate and just having them kind of parallax and move through the image more. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
a way of kind of cheating and then adding music and sound effects. So that's been something I've been trying to do. The algorithm on Instagram is horrible right now. I feel like I used to have really great posts that would not go crazy viral, but like move really well. And
Mhm.
now I just feel like they bait you into paying money to try to get them to promote or push the post further. Like I just did a set based on the Marvel Rivals video game recently, like three animated, not animated, but they move around. Um, Three animated pieces for each season of the game that's been out. And I put it on Instagram. I think it has like 2,000 views, and then I put it on TikTok, and they're over 120,000 views. Like it just moves so differently, and like I even was like, I think it's because I paid for a post on Instagram once, because I think once you get above 12,000 followers, they're like you're like a business account, so like they treat
Mhm.
your account differently. So it's almost like they kind of, unless you can bot like catch lightning in a bottle, which is how viral posts go. They want you to spend money for them to push it. So
Mhm.
I try not to do that, although it is a tax deduction. You could look at it that way, you know.
So
Yeah.
you're paying them to boost it? Is that what they're asking for?
Yeah, you can. I
It's for
try not to,
yeah.
you know. But because even then, I think it only got like 5,000 more. Like you can pay how long it's boosted for.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I try to have a presence on every platform, you know. Like Blue Sky is the newest one, and I've been trying to get on there versus I don't know. And then you got like Twitter. It's like the politics of everything nowadays too, versus like
Yeah.
so many people are like, well, I don't even have Instagram anymore. And I'm like, I would
Yeah.
love to not have Instagram right
Right.
now, or but I still like to be present on everything because that's where my work gets seen.
Mhm.
So it's like a tricky, I don't love Meta
Right.
Right.
or X, but you have to also promote your work. So I'm not sure. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
And I always wonder, like, it's good if people discover it, but like I have like, I don't know, 11,000 followers on Instagram, but it's like back when I had like 300 followers, it was like it doesn't actually translate into anything. Like no, I'm
No.
not selling anymore. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
having that many people or bots or whatever, it's like where's the actual value like showing?
And yeah, it's true. I mean, and they just cut your I mean, it seems like I have 3,000 or 300 followers by the amount
Right.
of likes you get for new posts. Again, like there are certain ones that do, like the drag race stuff I was doing does pretty well, but I just have kind of fallen out of doing it. Um, and like, I don't know, you just have to kind of pick and choose what you want to put out there. I mean, what I was doing for a while is like picking a target like Drag Race and sending, adding them and, you know, uh, tagging them. That would be
Hmm.
kind of my promotion to get your work out there. And I did get a lot of work through those drawings with like Logo and MTV.
Oh,
And
that's
so that was,
great then. Yeah.
yeah, that was good for a while. But now I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I've been,
Yeah.
I just kind of follow. I mean, with freelance, it's interesting because you just never know what's coming next. So I just try to put myself out there where I can with my own work promotionally, but then I also, um, you know, a lot of the stuff I have is in marketing right now. A lot of my work, like a lot of renderings and stuff. Like I did a bunch of renderings last year and got a little burnt out. I was doing all the renderings for the Airbnb stuff that they were doing of like the X, they were drawing like
Oh, nice.
Airbnb was doing like
Mm.
the X mansion and up. And so I was doing the drawings for that. And it was really fun, but I got really burnt out.
Those were
So
really cool. Yeah. This was
Mhm.
a cool gig.
yeah, so that was really fun, but it was a lot of work. Um, and they need it like tomorrow, you know?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Which is good because it pays well, which is hard versus comics, which is like a lot of work but doesn't pay quite as
Doesn't pay
well.
shit.
Yeah, but it's a labor of love. But I do think with nowadays, like what you're saying, and which makes it so hard for print, is that like comics need to move. Like everything needs to move online. I feel like people just their attention span it needs to be some sort of animated something to get people triggered or or panel to panel, like you were saying, which is not as fun to load up.
Right. I do think though there is still a lot of value, especially in terms of getting work from going to shows. Like
Yeah.
still you would think that would have died out, but now it's kind of becoming more popular, I think because people are craving some kind of face-to-face
Yeah.
interaction or connection directly with an artist that they love, you know? So that's nice to see that that's still one of the better ways to like network and find people in the community, but also jobs and future opportunities and stuff.
Yeah. What shows are you doing these days?
Well, I I say
Or
that
what
the last few
No, but
years,
you're definitely doing the most out of all of us for shows
yeah,
and
you
stuff.
guys are
Like, yeah,
still.
it's
yeah.
yeah, I mean it's definitely it's worthwhile. It's hard to find like I had the same circuit of like back in the day it was SPX in Baltimore in Bethesda and then Mocha in New York and then Ape in San Francisco and I pretty much just did that. And then it was like TCAF and then it was eventually like Emerald City and C2E2 in Chicago. So
And
those
we
are kind
did
of like the
Stumptown.
Stumptown. Yeah,
Stump-
that was such a good one. Although Rose City
I
was great.
know.
Rose City
Oh
was
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah, I haven't done Rose City, but I missed Stumptown. I thought that was a fun
Yeah.
one.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
But
Was
yeah,
that in like a school cafeteria or something? It was like a very
oh
It
yeah,
was
wonky space,
that
right?
weird building.
well,
Yeah,
the first one was like in the hotel.
the rec
Um,
centers.
yeah, and then it was in like a really big, weird convention center space, but I don't remember where that
Okay.
was. And in relation to
That
now.
might
And
be the
then sadly,
same.
That was at the year I went, maybe
we went twice. Well, remember Kyle
twice.
went with us
Yeah,
one time,
that
Kyle
was in the
Cummings.
weird. Because weren't we up on like a step? Wasn't our table like up on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Oh
It was
yeah,
that was my
There's a shake
favorite.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that was the
Shakeway.
shake weight
Okay,
year.
and like there's a picture of Monica in the boots on that bridge, right, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Shakeway. And yeah, Diana Schultz from Dark Horse was like looking for
Yeah.
you. I remember it clear as day. And like I was sitting in your chair. She's like, "You're not Monica." And I was like, "I wish I was." I was like the editor in chief of Dark Horse.
Oh, there's so much promise in those days.
Hmm.
We
Well,
also had the sparkle of optimism in our eyes.
and and I mean, just the landscape is totally different. It's like it's so incredibly difficult to get into a show now.
Yeah.
Just you can apply to all you want, but uh, getting into them is another story. I still think it's valuable to go from my perspective, whether or not you're exhibiting. But my focus has changed so much that I'm saying it's valuable for me to go. I'm not looking for sales at shows anymore. Um, but every like going to Angoulême Festival, there's always the professional content, and so I go to that just to learn about the industry from various perspectives. And there was a really interesting panel last year from I don't know, a half dozen festival organizers, some US, European, no one from Asia, but basically they're all saying we look to promote superstars and new talent. And if you're not a superstar or new talent, where do you fit in? And fortunately for me, again, this is just how where I've arrived in life. Like I'm at the last quarter of my
Oh my
career, right?
God,
No,
stop.
no, no, that's real. I mean, like
Let's
it
see.
because it changes my perspective at my day job too. Like I basically say things
Mhm.
that people who are junior in their career just wouldn't say because you're too concerned about working up the ladder or whatever your concern is. Like, I'm done. So, I get to be a little bit more forthright.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to make my career here. Um, I think for me, my focus in comics has changed incredibly in terms of like I'm not going to shows to sell anymore. I used to for sure, and I used to sell a lot, and that's lovely. Um, but now I'm more going to connect with various people. And if I have a table, that's great. And if I don't, is there something else I can get involved with, whether it be attending programming or, thinking about I, I've yet to apply for program to present programming, but actually, no, I just did one. But yeah, I think there are other ways to get involved and stay involved that is
Mhm.
not exhibiting, um, because I do think it's tougher to get in. Like I only really try for shows where I really want to go to for fun. Um, well, and now I'm looking to attend more just because of the PhD thing. I just want to stay more closely connected. Uh, but hitting Angoulême regularly, Thought Bubble in UK, which I think at least Greg, Monica, and I have been to, and it's amazing, fun show. TCAF in Toronto, I think is another good one. Just I love their mission, how it's open to the public. I think it's one of the first that was open to the public to try to
Hmm.
get readers. I know it's not the only one now, but I've tried several times against the Montreal CAF, but no, uh, without success there. Uh, the other one that Greg introduced me to, which I've attended since, is the American Libraries Association show, and
Oh,
I've
Ooh,
never.
yeah.
I mean, one of them I walked away with three invitations to pitch to publishers because they saw my artwork in the silent auction. And I've never walked away from a comic book show with any offers to pitch. And so I think that the vibe of that show, because it's not a sales show, it's a what the first of all, you have librarians looking for content, and they're just so nice. I mean, just going,
Yeah.
if you just want an ego boost, just go for that. But then the publishers treat you extremely differently too, because you're just there for a different reason. So
Mhm.
I'm a huge fan of ALA, which this year, 2026, will be in Chicago, everyone, if everyone wants to.
I should try to. I feel like I might have looked
Artist
into it
Alley
before, but it's
applications
like
open
impossible.
January 15th, Monica.
Do that. Well, I might.
But yeah, I
And
think
that
I mean
was
I
good. I
would be
mean, that
happy
was
to go even without exhibiting. Oh, sorry, Greg, I think I cut you off.
No, I cut you off.
I
No,
think we
but
both
no,
cut Monica off.
just well, good. That's the point.
Yeah.
No, no, just to piggyback on that. Like, yeah, I think ALA was like a career shifter for me because yeah, we did at Artist Alley and those tables are comms, but like but you had to get ourselves there like we do for all these shows. But yeah, it was like the librarians were just, it wasn't like, do you draw Batman? Oh no, I don't care. Like at a comic convention, they were all like, this is your first book. Or I mean, for me, it was my first book. But like they were just like all librarian energy. Like, wow, that's so cool. Like, but like, yeah, the publishers there are there. They're just there to promote the books in print for their upcoming with librarians. So yeah, they're more relaxed. Like they're not, yeah, we got to meet people. It was reunion energy. And
Yeah, yeah, and
I think that
there
show
was
was really, I went
there was
this year for free, like by myself, essentially. I just bought a badge to do one panel.
there's a lot of great content there too. Like,
Yeah.
so I think there's a lot to learn, and I think I totally agree, Greg, when you said it was a game changer or mindset changer for you. That show was a complete mindset changer for me. Like, what can I accomplish? I'm not. I'm only saying this because it's the reality, but I've held on to my day job. So comics for me is I do it because I love doing it, and I want to try to get work out there. And social following for me was just like so. Whether it's my own energy, my lack of participation, but when I stopped participating in social, I mean, my attitude just in life increased dramatically. And
Your
then,
your
yeah,
happiness.
um, yeah, general happiness did increase. But
Yeah.
then, just, because it is so difficult to promote your work now. And so,
Yeah.
um, I think just going into the spaces like ALA or, um, you know, getting into a show where you can talk about your work. I think, for those foreign shows, it's really tough to bring a sales banner, but I have a little tabletop poster made about like, oh, here's who I am. Talk to me about this. Scan this QR code to follow my work. So if I step away, you can learn more about me. I've actually engaged a number of people in conversations, like which is kind of why I'm there. And almost everything good has happened to me with a publisher through a convention or as a result of a convention or you know, the what last time Chip was at Angoulême, I just ran to him on the street. It's like so out of context, but his who he was there with, Greg had told to look out for me, and so it's just like things happen when you're there, especially in those shows, because I guess you stick out a
Mhm.
little bit as an American, um,
Yeah.
but still having those in connections, was like just I bumped into you and spoke to you for 10 minutes or whatever it was, that just goes so far when you have to like approach someone later. So anyway, that's I still really love going to conventions. I think my attitude around them has changed a lot because I mean, gosh, when we first started going to them, it would be about shipping crates of books someplace
Yeah.
and hauling them through the airport or the train or whatever, and then or shipping them to the
Yeah.
hotel, and then you
Yeah.
know, you know, I mean, I remember selling what, 8, 9 cases of books at San Diego or New York Comic Con in those early days. Like, like that's not going to happen anymore, or not for me anyway. I don't know how
Mhm.
well you do, Monica, but that doesn't happen for me anymore. So, because whether it be webcomics introduction or how much or little I can produce or whatever the story is, it's the energy is different, but I'm still like really happy to be, I guess, involved in the community. I also like how I think Mike mentioned AI some time ago. Conventions are starting to
Ugh.
get their hands around how to at least talk
Mhm.
about AI on the applications, where it's like,
Mhm.
we are, you must certify or swear to the fact that you've not used any AI in your
Yeah.
production. I kind of disagree with that just because, I live in an artist building and I've got like several neighbors who are using AI and crediting AI to create artwork, usually as a statement against AI. But, you know, I
Mhm.
think if you are using AI again for yourself, especially if it's a statement against AI, I think I don't have a problem with that. I think replacing it or stealing your artwork, I don't like that at all. Like, don't get me wrong, but what is the use for it? Like, I just remember my first job at MIT. I worked with alumni from the 1960s, They were making fun of faculty who were grousing about the introduction of the calculator into the classroom. Like, oh, the slide rule's
Mm.
going away. But yeah, it did. Sorry. But how is it changing? And I think it's taken everyone a while to understand how is this changing? How can we manage this? How can we use
Yeah.
this? How can we use this where it's appropriate and exclude it when it's not appropriate? I do endorse shows saying we don't want any AI here. Please check this box and confirm that you're using no AI. I like all those efforts, and I'm all for like having a show. Oh, this is just an AI show. Well, have at it. I'm not going to go, but at least you know what it is.
Oh my God. Can you
So
imagine the cesspool if it was an AI only show? Ew.
How many
uh,
extra fingers would it be?
It'd be
yeah,
all
so
like cyber trucks
um,
in the parking lot. Ugh.
Uh,
so
I
yeah,
hate
so
my
yeah,
car.
um, so anyway, I think collectively, working in higher education, like it was only 18 months ago where people were saying, we want to be the leader in AI development and ethics and education. And within a year, everyone's like, no can do. No one's going to be a leader in this space. It's here. It's about what is our role in it? Because we're not going to be a leader because we can't keep up with this. So I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
out
a,
of control.
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I think to some degree, it's going to be it'll go away as a fad. Meaning, if you just look at all the things you maybe haven't liked through the trajectory of your life, whether it be a Jerry Springer like talk show or a reality show, or all those fads go away, and the fad of like spending hours, sorry, um,
Just listing my
hours to
favorite
create
things.
some crap story with crap artwork, people will get bored with that when the next fad comes along. Now, AI will go persist in many other ways. Um, but I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm hopeful people will get bored and move on at some point.
I think people are craving more, especially since COVID too. Like everyone was online so much. Like people are craving more human interaction. They're the same way I think they're
Mm.
gonna crave more like when iPhones first came out and everything was like that Web 2.0 like super like gray or grayish everything and
Yeah.
everything was like super futuristic, but people were buying fucking handmade wood cases for their phones because
Yeah.
they needed something
Yeah.
actually textile like
And
Hmm.
and
combative.
and any best use of AI is make it authentic. So it's not just taking what AI spits out as yours. It's like it's how is it still human? And that's the only thing that we can add to it. Like it can't do that. And it probably won't in our lifetimes. So how are you keeping your work human? I think is the question.
That's a good way to
Um,
put it too.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Mm.
like
Yeah.
there's been a lot of testing. Like, okay, here's an email generated completely by AI. Here's an email generated by a human, and here's a email generated by AI and edited. Like, of course, the reader doesn't know that, but the purely AI generated one always flops because it reads so flat, and I think the artwork just
Right.
looks so flat.
That's
So,
it.
Yeah.
I have a
um,
friend who like, well, go ahead after your
I'm done.
I'll interrupt.
I'm done my soapbox. I'm still mostly against AI. I think there's a use for it, is all. And
Well,
how are we going to manage it and stay human?
Yeah, I just feel like it's out of control. I just don't want to. I saw a meme the other day. It was like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life asking if that's AI or not.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't. I want to be able to look at art and just be like, that's a nice piece. But again, like you said, the calculator, I'm sure with Photoshop too, people were like, oh, people are moving to Photoshop now instead of,
Uh,
but there's still a space for hand drawn, painted, colored pieces versus Photoshop. But Photoshop does make life easier. It's still like a human behind it, and it's not stealing from thousands of artists'
yeah,
work. And people put the argument out there that, like, well, you're looking at people's artwork and producing work that's been inspired by it. And I just don't think that works the same way. I mean,
Mm.
I haven't necessarily had a hit on I've heard about other illustrators that have had like hits, like losing someone was like doing a book cover and the person was like, well, we don't need you to do it anymore, and they were
Oh,
like, we're going to use this they basically used the Pinterest board with all of that creator's work and fed it to AI and made a piece from that.
That's so
Um,
fucked, man. That's
yeah,
so wrong.
it's just stuff like that. And that was in the
Yeah.
earlier days. I'm hoping that, like Tim is saying, that the fad is dying out. You're not seeing people post illustrated portraits of themselves anymore. AI illustrated portraits of themselves
Yeah.
anymore. So at least
And I think
that phase is,
It is the
it,
jobs
it,
though that are going away already. Like all these illustration jobs I see, it's like there's so many that are
Hmm.
like illustration or like storyboard, and I want to apply, and it's like to feed our AI generator. Like they want you to
yeah.
do art specifically for their AI machine. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like
Yeah,
I don't
I mean
understand.
that was that back in the day. That was the issue with like whether you should sell your illustrations to stock image or not, so people could like stock, purchase an image and put it on a website for a very cheap price. Now, I mean, I don't know. There is backlash for it. Like I know Disney Plus did an AI opening for the Nick Fury show. And I know people were like, that's gross. You're Disney. You should be
Right.
doing better.
well, yeah, I think
It's,
I look forward to that backlash, and also as the ethics catch up. Like
yeah.
again,
Mhm.
we all, have calculators or whatever, but if you're if you need to learn math, like you still need to learn it. So I hope
Yeah.
the ethics and fair usage does catch up. I think it's gross because it's changing so fast and it's so accessible that
Yeah. It's so
it's really
fast. That's the issue.
difficult to basically keep up with the, I guess, the ethics and usage of it. So, but it is
Yeah.
nice. I think you're just endorsing going to a show that has a limited to no AI as a way to interact with other human artists and buy product from other human artists. So I think we've
Yeah.
come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
And meet collaborators.
yeah,
Hmm.
and another like benefit to shows that I found, like even if I like I some of the big ones because they have blown up so much, like New York Comic Con and C2E2 and Emerald City. If you don't get into those, like I've been because I'm stuck in Texas and you can't like drive anywhere because you're still in Texas. But I have been, it's forced me to try to find some more like local shows. And I find that people there are much more interested in buying and talking to you, supporting, especially because like you're local to them. So it's often like more valuable I'm finding than the big shows where it's like they're going to see like two people and it's not you, you know?
Yeah, and I think you're also sort of learning that through your cryptid work. Like you're creating regional content,
Mm.
Right.
even if
Yeah.
you're going somewhere, you're speaking knowledgeably regionally. And again, that's something that is harder to do if you're not familiar with a region or a topic. So I think you're doing it in a few ways.
Okay.
Um, well done.
Well, I think before I ask my next question, I should ask you all to do a part two on camera so we can keep going and you can be peer pressured by whoever's watching this, which is probably just gonna be my mom.
Hi,
Um,
Lynn.
But
um,
I
wait,
will.
will you share the recording and we can post it to our Patreons?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think you should all disseminate it as you see fit.
Thanks, Greg.
Totally. Yeah, no, I think we like barely got started. I think there's like a lot more to talk about. So if you guys are up for it, like maybe I'll give you a rest, but I'm gonna try to get you into more.
This is really helpful too. Like I never get to talk to people about what's actually going on right now and what's helpful, you know?
Yeah, it's like art
Good.
therapy in its own
Yeah.
way. Because it definitely,
Good.
I would say that just in general, it's hard to feel super inspired to create with
Mhm.
everything, the overarching,
Um, oh,
world.
wait, when you said part two, are you saying you're going to stop recording and we're going to break for 10 minutes or break for another day?
No, we're gonna keep it because I hate podcasts that go over an hour.
Okay,
Oh
fair.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
so that's why. But I was gonna ask you like one happy question to
okay,
like.
Okay.
because when we're
Okay.
done recording, I'll grab some other things.
Oh well, my Zoom might disconnect. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
interference.
yeah, yeah. No, I think art therapy, yeah, I think that's, I mean, that was my goal, I think, was like, I'm kind of stuck in my own writing, but like my day job is comics and like, yeah, I just think it's good for all of us in different ways. So hopefully, yeah, I'm glad it was good for you. Um, okay, so my last question, like speaking of good for you, is like like since as Tim mentioned, we're all in like the final quarter of our lives. I mean careers. Or whatever Tim, whatever unhinged statement Tim made. But no,
Wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait.
no.
You guys aren't.
Oh. I mean, we're right
No,
behind
I'm
you
I'm
though.
barely 30.
I almost put on my readers for this meeting.
I know.
What?
It's dark in here, so
Lucky
you
I got
can't
the
see my
camera going.
wrinkles.
That's why my
Um,
Is it on?
hello? But like, what's the thing that keeps you drawing? What's the thing that like that keeps you writing? Like, what are you still in love with about this art that we make? Because lots of our peers, what I mean, our friends outside of comics are always like, it's so cool what you do, right? Like, and it is, but like we don't feel it like day to day. But like, what is something that like you love when you like sit down at the desk or when it's flowing? And is there like a thing you can point to?
Who's first?
you are.
Me?
You are,
A
yeah.
fear of failure. No, just kidding. I I mean that's the thing. I can tell I want to draw something when I've been thinking about it and it's like 2 weeks, or like I've been like still
Mm.
thinking about this thing. I'm like, I need to get it out of my head and create this picture of whatever it is. Um, and I think that um, I just the world is big and scary right now, but our bubbles are nice and cozy. So I look for that. I look for inspiration in that and the things that make me happy. And I try to draw from that a lot, as much as I can. Although lately I have been a little, I don't know if it's burnout, because, it is hard, with illustration as my day job and my personal, like, stress release.
Mhm.
As I have been and with AI, I have questioned. I'm like, well, what do I want to do if I like don't draw anymore because they don't need me to draw anymore? Like, I mean, not that was an early on drastic question, um, but again, I think it is just finding those things that it gets stuck in your brain that like when it was drag race stuff, it was an outfit that I couldn't stop thinking about, or when it was, um, when I was doing these Marvel Rivals pieces, I was like obsessed with this game. When I get obsessed with something, I usually want to do a picture of like how it's living in my mind, and I think that might be my best way to get that out there. Um, Tim or
Yeah, that's
Monica?
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was the question again? What do we enjoy about it?
What do you like about creating still? What do you like about drawing? What do you like about where you're writing and then all the things like, yeah, creating in general? What gets you
Yeah, I
excited?
I think a lot of people who do comics, like that's the way we filter and translate our lives and like what's coming and process stuff. Like I still think about that like I always want to make comics just as like therapy to understand stuff or to connect with the world because then you're sharing something that other people usually like even if it's super super personal, people relate to it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like that always inspires me as like comics is a great way of instantly reaching someone in a way that other forms don't necessarily. Um, because yeah, there is still something so novel to it, which drives me crazy sometimes because people are like, "Oh, people are still reading comics," and it drives me mad that like that's still a thing.
Mhm.
Or people
And
still,
the validity, it's annoying because
yeah,
it's so much work. It's so
right,
much work.
right.
So to
Yeah.
sit there when people are like, oh, cartoons and comics, and they're like, this dismissing it is so frustrating. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's almost like it's two ends of the spectrum now, where it's like something that people want to pay like tons of money for because it's super rare and it's super like a lot of work's put into it, or they want to figure out how to make it as cheap and easily like replicable as possible. Like you see on like Etsy and stuff, it's like, I'll make a comic for you, and it's like they're putting in your photographs or like bullshit, just like trying to find a way to commodify it. Like I don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's what I like. I think it's a really easy way to quickly connect with other people. The end.
The
All right.
and then Tim.
Yeah. So in my apartment, we're shifting to mood lighting, so forgive me.
Yeah, I've been
So dark.
Um,
enjoying. Yeah, I'm enjoying the
um,
ambiance in the
yeah,
magic hour.
the lighting shifts dramatically. So I'll well, I was gonna say I'll be quick, but I know that that's not true. So I'm basically motivated on two levels, and since I'm a fairly joyless person, I will tell you also the elements of joy. My motivation really sort of like as I've marched through whatever academic side of me I have, like has been uh, using the medium to connect with readers to get them to think about other perspectives in a way that's accessible. And comics can do that. Like, unlike so many mediums, it's really disarming because, YA comics readers tend to read up in grade level. You don't have to dumb it down in language. Like there's so many benefits in terms of like reading, trying to learn a foreign language, or, people who are visual learners. There's so many aspects of comics that really can appeal to different types of readers, tell different types of stories, and get people to think about new things. That's one piece of motivation. Second one is as I was sort of like poking around at these PhD programs, I kept on getting like, oh, maybe, no, maybe, no. And I was like, why is this medium not taken seriously? All these programs have guidelines for writing a novel. Oh, to do this, it has to be X number of words. All these programs have guidelines for collections of poetry, short stories, playwriting, screenwriting. Why is this medium not on that same level? And the more maybes I got, the more irritated I got. And pretty much the primary reason I'm doing this PhD thingy is to basically help the medium be accepted at this one particular school and therefore all the schools in Ireland. So, that was a huge piece of motivation for me. But I did say, if I'm going to do this, and I don't know how much giddy up I have left in me, it's got to be fun. So therefore, it's got to have, and this will be familiar to Greg because I probably have made these demands of you. It's got to have cool cars. It's got to have a dog. It's got to have nerdy gay guys. It's got to have, is that it? Cool
I've never heard
cars.
dog before.
I
Where do you?
know that's a
Oh,
new one. You
Oh,
did. You've definitely heard cars. Like
yes,
I'm like
because I found the
more
note.
scenes with cars.
I found the Liebestrasse
Which are
note
very
where
hard to
I wrote,
draw.
you wrote in like Tim handwriting, like it would be nice to have a car here or something. Like it was like you literally, yeah, yeah, yeah. But we talked about it for other stuff too.
Yeah.
I
So
found it while I
yeah,
was
it's
packing.
like if you're going to embroil yourself in a project, whether it's a long weekend or a 3-year thing, it's like you have to
Mhm.
enjoy it. And
Yeah.
and so um anything I've got in my head, it's like, does it have one of those factors? Does it have action in it? I think that's my fifth latest one. It's got to have some action. Um,
Oh,
action, nerdy gay guys. Oh yeah, a romance that ends badly. I'm a big fan of that. And
me too.
um,
Oh,
so yeah, um,
yeah.
but so I do look for to take joy in the moments. I think this really came up with Liebershausen because I think originally we talked about it as a short story because I was like, I don't know if I can spend a year and a half working on this topic. It's
No,
it's
yeah.
hard.
Hmm.
Um,
I was just thinking
and
about how
yeah.
relevant it is too right now.
well, sadly, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Save it for part two.
Yeah. All right. I didn't bring it up, but I did
No,
right
it's
before think about if that would come up. But sorry.
yeah. No,
Um,
we will. No, no, no. I think it should. I think it like, and that's like my, and that like Tim's segues into like my answer, like as a writer, and like I can think like in all my projects, especially with the three of you, like that moment where like the idea was in my head and like I knew I was writing to you And like I knew, maybe Tim like directly demanded a car, or like you and I had talked about, or like, the rest of us had talked about things we liked or had talked about the project, or like I think that magic moment when you start drawing, or your collaborator, if we're gonna like generalize it, and then like it comes back to you better than like you imagine. Like that's fucking magical.
Mhm.
And I succeeded in crying on a panel again.
I was
Even a
waiting.
virtual.
Uh, do you
Save it
plan
for
do you
part
plan out
two.
topics that like, okay,
I was just like, I'm
here's a
Oprahing
trigger
Smile.
question.
Here comes
Yeah.
Here comes the
Here
question
come
that's
the
going to
here
trigger
come.
me.
It was
for
like,
myself.
I am my own Oprah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good title. Yeah,
I
I think,
have
but I
my
think,
own
yeah, I think we should do a
memoir.
part two, and I think we should talk about like more of this nitty gritty
Tim's on the
creator
move.
stuff. Tim's on the go.
I
He
know.
said
Sorry.
stop recording,
Yeah.
standing
Well,
and posing.
um,
It's like turning a trick.
It's
I
just
can't remember the next line. I
can't,
had so
it's all,
much of
and
it memorized.
and
You too,
shade
lampshade.
something.
This-
Oh my gosh, that's the homework assignment. Yay. Well, maybe we'll all post this in our newsletters and our Patreons, and we'll all link each other's social medias or whatever ways to contact, or each other's fans and readers. Because if we say it now, it'll just be like a list of websites.
Oh God.
But we'll send each other the links and stuff when we post this. And we'll do a part two, maybe in a month or less or more, but soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sounds
Greg.
good.
This has been fun.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Let's
Have
all
a
say
great reunion.
yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Goodbye, listeners, readers.
I'm already being greedy. I want this more often.
Okay.
Double
I'm
shake
hitting
weight.
end. Oh no, I'm hitting stop recording. And I said it out
Double
loud.
shake
Did you
weight.
just shake weight? Oh my God. Okay. And I'll give you
Goodbye,
the
Double.
cut
fans.
thing.
That's a commercial.
Oh my gosh. Now we're really not monetized. Okay.